What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be ranking the 16 projected NFC quarterbacks for the 2023 season. Remember, these are just my personal opinions, so if yours are different, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know your top 4 NFC quarterbacks for this upcoming season down below in the comments as well, and I hope you guys enjoy. Starting with Justin Fields, I'm going to put him in average just because, you know, he's going into his 3rd season. His first 2 weren't that great. I know, I mean, the Bears are awful. That surrounding cast, supporting cast has been bad for his entire career. But he also hasn't been great. He's an amazing, even exceptional runner. I mean, he might even be better than Lamar or just as good. He's so good on the ground. His passing's a little subpar, but, you know, he's got DJ Moore. They just drafted an offensive lineman. I expect a better year from him, but I don't want to put him in good yet. I know a lot of people are going to put him in good for this season. He might be a good fantasy quarterback. Actually, he might even be a great fantasy quarterback, but I'm just going to keep him in average for now. Dak Prescott, I'm going to put Dak in good. I know a lot of people are dragging on Dak because of his interceptions last year, which makes sense. It's, you don't want to throw picks, but it's still Dak. He's a vet in this league. He's been here for, what is it, 8 years now? 2016, he's 7 years now. He's still going to be, you know, top 7, top 8 in pass yards, touchdowns. Cowboys offense is going to be top 10, maybe, I mean, probably even top 5. I think Dak, if Dak was my quarterback, I'd feel pretty confident. Maybe not winning a Super Bowl, as I know he's been known to underperform in the playoffs, but it's a team sport. You know, his team underperforms, his coaching staff perhaps under coaches. Still feel pretty good with Dak as my quarterback. Next, Matt Stafford. I also guess I'd feel pretty good. He's coming off a pretty big injury. He didn't play much last year. 2 years ago, last time we saw him, you know, fully healthy, he was great. He won the Super Bowl, obviously, in 2021. He's getting up there in age. You wonder about injuries lingering. I would assume they shut him down when they realized they weren't going to be too good last year, and he's recovering, and I don't think he goes out there if he's hurt. But I think we'd see a pretty good Matt Stafford, definitely closer to the 2021. And I'd feel pretty good with Stafford as my quarterback. Next is Kyler Murray. I, for one, am a Kyler fan. I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I do think Kyler is better than people give him credit for. I mean, going into last year, I thought he was the best quarterback in the NFC, but my opinion has changed. I'll put him above Dak, and I mean, I think he's better than Dak. He's younger. I know he's getting paid a lot. He's great on the, you know, running the ball. The team, once again, the Arizona's not a good team. Like, that roster is bad. And, you know, DeAndre Hopkins missed the first, was it 6 games last year? I think it was 6 games last year. Kyler's been injured at the end of seasons, which has kind of really been killing him. In the one playoff game we saw him against the Rams in 2021, they got absolutely blown out. I don't know. I like Kyler. I do think Cliff Kingsbury is also a bad coach. You know, he should have been fired 2 years ago. Actually, probably shouldn't have been hired. I don't know how many games Kyler's going to miss. I expect him, I'm guessing, half the season. So he's not going to win any awards or, you know, put up insane stats. But I still do think Kyler's a good quarterback. Next, on to Daniel Jones. This one is so tough for me. I know for a fact there's Giants fans saying he's better than Dak. I don't think he's better than Dak, but actually I can't put him above Stafford. I do know Daniel Jones had a good season last year. It was actually his best season last year. He just signed, what is it, 2-year extension, 4-year? I think it was a 4-year, but it's like 2 years afterwards they can get out of it, or after 2 years. They made the playoffs. They did win a playoff game. They actually won a playoff game. They beat the Vikings. They got smoked by the Eagles. Once again, the Giants as a team, like, his receivers are bad. Like, they just off the top of my head, was it Sterling Shepard? I can't even, Wan'Dale Robinson, maybe. I know they got Darren Waller, so yeah, should help with the pass game. Actually, it will help. Saquon at the moment hasn't signed his franchise tag. So the team should be fine for Daniel Jones to succeed. I just don't think he's that great of a passer. He's pretty good on the run. He's faster than he looks. He's big-bodied. I can't put him above Stafford right now. Jared Goff. I mean, I, I'll put Jared Goff above Kyler Murray and Dak and Stafford right for now. I'm hesitant putting him above Dak and Kyler. I think he's really similar to Dak. I mean, they had a really rough start to the season, Lions, and then they ended up like 8-1 in the second half of the year. I don't quote me on it. And Jared Goff kind of lit it up. Their offense was good last year. The defense struggled. They let up a lot of high scoring games. And Jared Goff surprised me. I really thought Jared Goff was on his way out of the NFL when they traded him for Matt Stafford. Because at the time, the Lions were awful. I really thought he was going to go there. He was going to be a bridge quarterback. They were going to draft somebody a year after that just to use those. I think they got 2 first-round picks with him, so I just figured they were going to use that on like Bryce Young or something with the #1 overall pick they were going to get because they were so bad. But he actually played pretty well. Actually played good. And he's kind of resurrected his career now after being traded from the Rams. And I can see him being, if he's another season where he builds off of the second half what he did last year, I can see him, signing long term with the Lions, and actually having a pretty long career there NFL wise, like 6 to 7 years there. Of some pretty good seasons with the Lions. So I'm gonna put Jared Goff above Kyler and Dak for now. Kirk Cousins, this is another tough one. I mean, Daniel Jones, Matt Stafford, I have them right here. Kirk, I see with Goff, Kyler, and Dak all in like that, like their own tier, I would say. But I don't know if I was choosing a quarterback, I would probably go with Goff over Kirk. Actually, I'm gonna put Goff over Kirk. I'm gonna put Kirk right behind Goff. He's better than Kyler. Kind of just his age is the only issue. I don't know how old Kirk is. I know he's in his 30s. He's getting up there. Actually, he might be in his mid 30s now. He's also got great receiver. He's got Justin Jefferson where he can just chuck it up and get a 30-yard completion. Where if that was Daniel Jones throwing the ball to Wan'Dale Robinson or whoever else he's got out there, he wouldn't have gotten anything. But Kirk's actually been pretty solid. He just had a great year. I think he was top 5 in a lot of the passing categories. I'd have to look it up. But I'm going to have him right behind Goff. Brock Purdy. This is a tough one. I think we saw 11 games from Brock. I don't know why. I think, before I rank him, I just want to say this. I think if, Daniel Jones, if you replaced Daniel Jones and Brock Purdy, and you watch Daniel Jones do what Brock did on the 49ers, we would be saying Daniel Jones is top tier. But because it was a 7th round pick and it was what did I say? I said Brock Jones. But because it was Brock Purdy, people kind of underplay what I think it was like 10-0 to start his career. But I'm like one of those people, for some reason I just can't put him above these guys. I guess it's because he hasn't played as much, which shouldn't impact rankings. These are just for the season. So something from like Matt Stafford 10 years ago shouldn't affect it, but I can't put him above Daniel Jones. He did have an amazing season though as a rookie, especially for starting late and being a 7th round pick, and not he was buried on that depth chart. Would he come in as a 3rd string, I think, behind Garoppolo and Trey Lance? He did well for himself. I do know he's injured. I think they said he's going to be throwing during training camp. I'm not sure. I don't know when he can take, live hits or play live football. But I'm going to have him an average above Justin Fields for now. Jalen Hurts is kind of reserved for him, top tier. Had himself a breakout season. He started rough in his first 2 years. I mean, he was still good, but last year was incredible. On the ground, through the air, he was efficient. Pretty much got better in every way as a quarterback. It kind of looked like he learned the system a lot better and kind of just excelled at his decision making. I remember watching him 2 years ago, and say it was like a third and 10, and they were on, say, the 40-yard line. They were all like about field goal range. Instead of just throwing the ball away on 3rd and 10 if it's a broken play and he's rolling out, or taking like 2 yards and just going out of bounds to get closer, he would throw it downfield on the run, and he'd throw an interception, or almost an interception. Where last year he would throw it away and just live to see another down, maybe get 3 points. And it was kind of just like maturing as a quarterback. Uh, I don't know where I would put him in the league rankings, but in the scheme of the NFC, I'm gonna put him as the best. Jordan, and was he 24? I think he turns 25 in August or September. Like at the beginning of the season, he's gonna be 25, so he's still young. Jordan Love, I made the unproven for rookies and just people who haven't seen him. We haven't seen Jordan Love really at all. I know he started at least one game against Kansas City like 2 years ago, but I'm gonna put him at average just because he's been in the league for 3 seasons now. So it's not like he just hasn't been there. People have seen him in practice. We're not hearing much about him being great in practice by the Packers and stuff. When we did see him, I don't think it was that great. I know against the Eagles, his stats looked great, but one of them was like a 70-yard touchdown on a slant to Watson, so they kind of inflated his passing stats. I'm going to put him in average. I mean, we just haven't seen enough of him. Desmond Ridder, unproven. I think he played 4 games last year. He had like 4 touchdowns, so I touched on a game. Not his fault. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just going to put him unproven, and we just haven't seen enough. And 4 games just isn't fair to judge him on. And like, if he didn't perform well in those 4 games, I don't think I would put him in bad. Just because, I mean, the Falcons were bad. Like, their playmakers were awful. Kyle Pitts was hurt. I'm not going to judge him on it. I'm going to put him in unproven. Same with Bryce Young, unproven. But I'll put him above Desmond Ridder. Can I do that? Can you please let me? He was the number 1 overall pick. I think his floor is already above Desmond Ridder. It should be. He's the number 1 overall pick. But unproven, obviously. I think he'll have a pretty good year. I think Bryce Young is in the best situation of the quarterbacks drafted. I know when you're drafted number 1 overall, it's usually to the worst team and the worst situation. But Carolina, obviously they traded with the Bears for the number 1 overall pick, and their situation's not that bad. Like, compared to the Texans, where Stroud went at number 2, which is a lot worse. Anthony Richards' situation is pretty good in itself, but I do like his situation. I think he'll have a lot of success this year. Derek Carr, I will put... What I want to do with Derek, I'm going to put Derek Carr in good behind Daniel Jones. I am still, like, 2021 Derek Carr was pretty great. Last year was bad. I'm going to blame Josh McDaniels and the Raiders on his down season. I know he's aging. He's not the best. I mean, I've got him, the 8th quarterback or something in the NFC, so he's not that good. But I do think he's still a decent starting quarterback in the NFL. He's a vet. He's been there, seen everything. That's why I'm going to have him above guys like Purdy and Fields. I actually think the Saints, I actually picked the Saints to win the NFC South in my recent prediction. So I think he's going to have a pretty good season. Sam Howell, unproven. Saw him 1 game. I think we saw him 1 game in week 18 against the Cowboys. And they actually didn't win it. I think they won by 2 scores. But once again, I'm not going to judge him on that game. Geno Smith. Actually, let me just throw this dude right in here. Geno Smith, the final quarterback in our rankings. I will put Geno... I will put Geno right behind Goff. I mean, that's really close. I really don't care. Go either or. Geno's up there in age. Geno's so accurate. I don't know what his accuracy was this year. It had to be almost 70%. I'm actually going to look it up. So Geno Smith had a 69.8 completion percentage. So almost, 70% completion percentage. 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks. So Geno Smith had himself a fantastic, a career reviving season in 2022. And they just added Chase, and I actually think he's going to continue it. Maybe not the same as he did last year, which he doesn't have to. If he's not what he was last year and needs to step back, that's fine. Still a good starter. I don't think he will. I think he's going to continue this. I'm excited to watch it because that'd be awesome if Geno Smith can continue and have it duplicate what he did last year, because that would be such a cool story. Being bounced around. And then, at the age of, 33, 32? He's 32 years old. So, yeah, I'm going to put him right behind Goff. Just Goff is younger, bigger arm. But you can't go wrong with Geno. 70% completion percentage is 70%. So these are my NFC quarterback rankings for the 2023 season. Let me know what you think differently, and also let me know your top four because I'm curious of how you guys would rank them. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'm going to be releasing my AFC quarterback rankings later this week, so be sure to check that out. And I will see you guys in the next one.